Hey, welcome to my channel where I talk about my dolls, and that's literally it. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing all my American Girl of the Year dolls, give a little bit of a background and maybe why I bought them or, why I didn't buy certain ones and some of the ones that are on my wish list. There are currently 24 dolls, Girl of the Year dolls in existence, and I have, nope, there are 22, and I have half of them, but soon there'll be the 23rd doll. And yeah, so I guess I'll just get started in the order in which they were released. I don't have the very first doll, Lindsay Bergman, but she's on my wish list. I'm looking for that perfect. When I say perfect, I mean like I find her locally. She's complete in good condition because sometimes the suede of her shoes it's been rubbed off, and obviously I want her in good condition, and her box is really cool, like the bright colors and all that. So I would like to find one with the box. And I know that's a tall order, and that's why I don't have her yet, but I will get her eventually for sure. She's really, because I like the dolls with the freckles and the unique hair, and she's like one of the very few dolls who has like a short little Snow White type bob. But the oldest doll I have is the second Girl of the Year named Kaylee Hopkins, and she's from 2003. Lindsay came out in 2001, but she ended up being on the market for 2 years, if I've heard correctly or absorbed the information, because I didn't collect back then, obviously. And so this doll here, Kaylee, I don't know much about her story, or Lindsay's for that matter. I actually didn't have her on my list at all. She's not in her. I don't have any of her collection. I bought her without any clothes, so she's wearing. I have added her to my '90s collection with the twins, and so she's wearing one of Isabel's outfits. And when I say she wasn't on my list, like I didn't have any need for another classic mold doll with like blonde hair, but she had the brown eyes, so I thought she kind of had that Britney Spears feel about her as far as dolls go. And so I was like, okay, she was cute. When I saw her in person, I thought she was really cute because I was buying other dolls from the person who was selling her, and I saw her and I was like, you know what? I have the perfect spot for her in my collection. I was looking for like a 90s doll to wear this outfit. And so that's the only reason I have Kaylee. And because of that, because I didn't really have any interest in her, I don't know much about her story other than she looks like she's beachy, like she might be a surfer or something based on the little bits I've seen of her collection. And I'm not somebody who goes out and studies American Girl. Like if I like something, then I know about it. And if not, I don't need to know that. So I don't really have much more information on her in my head. But, she's fine. Like she serves a purpose for me. So I like that about her. And I don't have the next dolls that came out for the next couple of years. The 2005 was Marisol Luna. It's another Josefina mold. I have so many Josefina mold dolls, and they kind of give me grief. So I don't love that about her. And so I don't really feel, there's nothing in her collection that really called to me either. And then the next doll would be Jess McConnell in 2006. I'm obviously looking at a list down here because I'm not going to remember any of this. And even though I like the mold and I love that she introduced the mold, I have for me, Ivy is the perfect Jess mold doll. So I have no reason to chase the actual Jess doll at this point. And Nikki Fleming, another classic mold, kind of basic doll, blonde hair, blue eyes, if I remember correctly. I like her freckles. I like some of her collection. She came out in 2007, but I just don't feel the need to chase anything from her. And that's no hate against her. I have enough classic mold dolls, over 30 at this point. And having said that, this is going to be so stupid because Mia St. Cloud, who came out in 2008, she is on my wish list. But there's something unique about her because of her hair color and eye color and her freckles. There's something about her that if I find her for a good price, because people really want a lot for that doll, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to spend 400 Canadian, that is. So I don't know what that'd be, like 300 US. I just don't think she's worth that much. So that's why I don't have her, and don't feel a need to like chase her. But if she comes along and has her meat outfit, because I think it's cute, I like the winter theme with her, then I will chase her. Or not chase her, I will buy her. Krista Maxwell, 2009, no desire for her or her friends, to be honest. That sounds so rude. But I think Krista is the one with the Josefina mold, right? And that's just like, I have too many. I like her color combination's kind of cute. And I know Sonali's her friend, and I don't even know who her third friend is, because that's how much I don't care about the Krista Maxwell collection. But I don't care, meaning I don't hate it. I don't have any problems with it. It's just not something I'm excited enough to go chase. And then I think the next doll's name is Lainey Holland. I know what she looks like. She's another blonde, blue-eyed doll from 2010. Well, maybe it's not blue, but her eyes are like light colored, and I just don't need any more dolls that look like that. And like I can't even think of her collection off the top of my head because another doll I just don't have any care for. And Kanani, who came out in 2011, I can see the appeal for her, but because her collection, she's another Jess Mold doll, and with a really, really long, thick hair, really nice wig. But I have Truly Me 79, who is the substitute, the good substitute for her, even though she doesn't have that big wig. I can't believe I only have one doll in here, and I'm just blabbing. Um, so I don't have a need to chase her at all. I don't love her collection because it exposes too much of her cloth body. I talk about this in almost every video, so I'll just get that out of the way, that I don't love everything she wears, so I don't feel a need to chase her. And people generally expect a lot for her too, from what I've seen of her availability, and she's just not that doll for me. And the next doll I also don't have, McKenna Brooks, 2012, another Josefina mold, this time with blonde hair and blue eyes, and yeah, just she checks no boxes for me. So finally I can get to a doll I do have, and it's Sage Copeland, who was released in 2013. And when I talk about not really like loving dolls with blonde hair and blue eyes, I do love red hair and I love freckles. And her blue eyes, I believe they're unique because when I compare her to all my other dark blue-eyed dolls, they don't look like hers. So I just have this feeling she's got her own eye color, but I probably could have looked into that better before I started talking about it. And I bought her obviously used, kind of locally from, obviously a kid had her because her hair is butchered in the back and I don't want to turn her around because I'm embarrassed. So it's like where I have her on display, I can make myself forget that she's got the butchered hair. But there was something about this specific doll that I really liked her face, and I got her back when I did not like the classic mold. And I was like, how come this classic mold doll is calling to me? I don't know why. It's like, I've seen other Sage dolls and they don't really appeal to me the way this one does. I just have to fix her wig somehow one day. But I love her meat outfit. I love her. These boots are, really unique. And I have a few outfits from her collection. And I think her outfits are a few that, she has a few that I would actually chase if I saw them locally and, like the price was right. It's like, it's not top of my list at all. But I feel like she has a really cute wardrobe out of all the Girl of the Year dolls. And then the next doll who came out is Isabel Palmer, which is another blonde doll. Kind of looks like her, I think. Brown eyes, blonde hair, just got some pink in it, and she's a dancer. And I just don't feel a need. I have the Girl of Today, number 12, who's the blonde hair, brown eyes doll. And it's just like, because I have her now, it's like really hard to do better than that because she's just like the perfect doll of that combination. So no Isabel for me. And the next doll who came out in 2015 is Grace. What's her last name? Thomas. Okay, so I only bought her because I have a pretty extensive Courtney collection, and when I looked at her, I saw like an 80s. I just saw 80s in her, and I usually do not put her in this outfit, so she looks a little funny to me right now. And she's got these like 80s style braids in the back of her hair that I'm using the Celebrity Chic beret to cover and to kind of make her look like herself. But this is another doll who, Josefina, so many Josefina mold dolls. And I think if I didn't love her freckle pattern and I didn't have like this spot in my collection for her, and having her in Courtney's world, I love her. And seeing her like this, I'm kind of meh. But I will say, like, I understand that her bakery, her big ticket item is really popular and, it's really detailed. You need a lot of space for it. Like, I don't even think my table would be big enough for it. But so I could see the appeal for people who love her because of that. I don't care about baking. I'm not somebody who's really keen on going to Paris in my life. I don't hate Paris. I don't know it, but there's just nothing about the doll, her story-wise, that really appeals to me personally. But the doll is cute, and it's like I haven't seen her in this outfit since I bought her. And then I found these really cute earrings that I don't know if they're hers. They're little cupcakes, and because she's a baker, I don't know if anybody recognizes these. I probably bought them in like some kind of earring set. And anyway, I had to take her 80s earrings out for making her look a bit more like herself for this video. So that's why she's got them. And then the next doll, I don't think we're going to be surprised, is another Josefina mold. And it's Leah Clark, released in 2016. And I had bought her, she's another doll I bought with no clothes. So she's in another doll who's in the 90s world. Um, so I don't like her meat outfit at all because of the way it shows her cloth, too much of her cloth body. So when somebody was selling her locally, no clothes, for a really decent price, I was like, oh yeah, totally worth the drive. I know exactly what I'm going to do with her. And the thing I did like about Leah is she also has like a really nice big wig. And she also has, they're hazel. And I actually was curious if her eyes are unique to her because they look unique. If they're the regular hazel, they look like a unique shade. So I'm not sure if that's the case or not, but if they're not unique, then it doesn't state it on the American Girl Wiki, which is where I get my information. Because again, I'm not an American Girl encyclopedia on my own at all. And there's nothing about her collection that really appeals to me. I would never. I've seen and I see her stuff come up a lot locally, and I'm just like, nah, none of it's for me. And she's already got her purpose in my collection, so that's why I will probably never chase anything of hers. And the next doll is Gabrielle McBride, and I actually talked about her in my last video, so I don't need to get too much. I'm not going to get too much into her story. I'll just say that she came out. I don't know if I already said that she came out in 2017, and just quickly, she's not an original doll. Like she's just a truly me doll who was quickly put into an outfit, put into, let's say, production, as in like putting an outfit on her and putting her in a box. And then all of her collection is just like rehashed stuff. She doesn't have a lot. She probably one of the worst American Girl of the Year collections, just in the sense that they didn't do a lot for her. And I don't know, she was like a last minute, something that fans or the collectors were wanting to have a Black Girl of the Year. Did I say that right? Girl of the Year, yeah. So because they were about to release Tenny, another white girl who was a country singer, and we've already had so many, as you can see just from the few I have on the table, and I skipped so many that were all also, except for Marisol, white girls of the year. So that's why her collection isn't very impressive. And it's another mold I have quite a bit of dolls of. But then when I was buying this doll, not when I was buying this doll, the same person I bought this doll, I went there to buy something else, and I ended up looking at other things she had on her shelves that she was eventually going to be selling or was already. And I was like, wow, this Gabriella is really cute. Like there was something about her hair, the way her hair falls, her little, I call her fusilli curls because they look like those, like that's spirally pasta. And they just sit in such a nice way that they cover her terrible. She has like one of the worst cloth bodies because not only is it a mismatched color, it's like, how they sometimes they like bunch up and it's like she's got wrinkles around her neck. So she's got one of the, I don't actually wear, she's also part of the 90s world. Weird that so many of my girls of the year are 90s girls. So I put her in Nikki's sleepwear. So she's completely covered because I just can't handle looking at that body, the cloth body. And the next doll I don't have, another Josefina mold, Luciana Vega. She was released in 2018, and even though she doesn't interest me, I know enough about her, not her story. Her story, I know she's like studying to be an astronaut or something, and there was a real life astronaut whose name was not Luciana Vega, something very similar, like it was like Luciana Vargas or something like so similar. And the doll has the same purple streak in her hair that the real life astronaut or NASA employee had in her hair, physicist maybe, or I don't know the words, but she ended up suing American Girl, and I think it was like settled and in locked records. So we don't know exactly what came of it. We just know that either somebody was really inspired by her story or just thought I don't know, they had seen something online, it went into their subconscious, and somehow everybody around did not pick up on it when they were developing her. And then American Girl had to pay the price, whatever that price might have been. And she came out around the time that the dolls had that downward glance. So I've never seen a Luciana, is that how you say her name? Luciana doll who looked really good to me. And it's just so tricky getting Josefina dolls. A lot of Girls of the Year, I haven't even shown on my Josefina mold Girls of the Year. It's just like, it's a little bit of a gamble when you're buying those dolls, when I am And speaking of that, this is another Josefina mold doll. Oh no, her clip came out. And so she is from 2019, the 2019 Girl of the Year. It's Blair Wilson. And so a lot of the things I liked about Blair is she's got, I've compared her to my number 5 skin tone dolls because I thought that she was the introduction of the number 5 skin tone, but she's actually paler than they are, the rest of them. And I think I've already said that I love red-haired dolls. So I did have her on my list. I was like waiting for the right one to come along. And somebody pretty locally was selling her, I don't know, within the last month. So I haven't had her very long. But now I've shown her twice on my channel. So yay. And the little bit I know about her story, I got her book, but I'm not going to read it. Who am I kidding? What I know about it is she's like planning a wedding, and she likes animals. So she has like farm animals in her collection. And she's, I think, one of the stories I remember people when they talk about the Girls of the Year having very low stakes, especially compared to like the historical dolls. Like that's her big thing, and she's got to plan a wedding. It's like, oh, it's like your stressful life. But I mean, it's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a lighthearted story for a doll. It's just funny. Whenever I think about Blair, I think about how people kind of ripped on her story for being so simple and so like, you know, low stakes. But I really think the doll is pretty, but she's a Josefina mold. So I have to, every once in a while, just flick her eye back into place because it loves to, or this eye loves to go out this way. It's usually that eye on my Josefina mold dolls that loves to just, you know, what's it called? Achaphoria. You know that thing where one eye's looking at you, one's looking for you. And her hair is down like this because I want to cover her cloth body, and then I put a pearl necklace on her just to cover that neck joint. And I don't know if she has any other outfits in her collection that I really care about chasing. I think I'm fine with just the doll, and because I've managed to hide enough of her cloth body, she can just continue wearing this outfit. It's complete other than that, I think. It's got her, I'm sure there's a reason she wears like a bandana around her wrist. I don't know if she's hurt or if it's something she inherited or whatever, but usually their outfits have something random like that would have a story behind it. So she's actually my newest Girl of the Year. Newest isn't like newest, most recently acquired. And the next girl is definitely one of my favorite molds, and she introduced it, and I think that's the only reason I ended up getting her. It's Joss Kendrick, released in 2020. And what do I know about her? I know that she's, I think, hard of hearing because she's only got one hearing aid, and I don't think you would wear a hearing aid if you were deaf. So, you know, American Girl has been trying to diversify their line and diversify their characters and showing people with like unique abilities or whatever. So she's got that, even though it doesn't really affect her. Like she's not deaf, as in like needs to speak with sign language. Like she can speak to everyone in her life. Like when I say normally, I mean like, you know, with full communication skills. So I know that it's a step in the right direction, but not completely there. I know she's a surfer, and she has one of my favorite play sets, which is the minivan that I haven't really shared on here properly, but I will one day. It's just, it's big. So like to get it down here and to talk about it, it's up high on a shelf but it's amazing. And I love all the pieces with it. So I definitely do need to give that a visit one day. And so I have a display for her, even though it's got quite a few of these girls in it. Well, maybe not. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, I love the mold, but funnily enough, she was the last doll of the Joss mold that I actually acquired. She was one of those dolls that had, you know, I had arranged with somebody to buy locally, and then at the last minute they pulled out, and then finally when I got her, she was new in box, like never removed from box, and I could tell she was never removed from box for like $100 Canadian. That was like, okay, so now I see why those other ones got canceled, because this was the best. Like she's like in amazing condition, like just the way her eyes are placed and everything like that. So I really do love this doll, and she's, if anybody has seen my doll room tour, she's like the focal point of my contemporary display. I think I've said enough about her, but I just honestly, I haven't even featured her enough. Like I haven't done a proper video for her that I'm like, I don't want to stop talking about her, but I should move on to the next doll, who is Kira. And Kira, I'm having trouble getting her out of her hiding spot, is the girl of the year for 2021, right? That would be the math, yes. And I don't know enough about her story, even though I have her story, like I have her book. I don't sit down and read these things. But what I know about her is there was some controversy about her story because she's, I think, visiting her aunt, or she's visiting somebody in Australia, and she has an aunt there who is in a relationship, or she's married to another woman. So there was a lot of upset about her story featuring a gay couple, like lesbian couple. And so, I mean, that's what happens. It's like if American Girl tries to make strides, they meet a lot of pushback. And I'm not saying they should back down, but I'm saying like this is all part of the progress we go through, right? It's like you take a step forward, you get pushed back, and we just have to, keep an open mind and try to keep pushing forward, and that's okay. Most of us are used to this kind of these comments and this upset and this uproar, and we can either take it in stride or learn how to just exist. I didn't mean to go off on that little tangent, but it's just I never really talk about Kira that much either, except for the fact that she's also part of Joss's world. And what I liked about her is that her accessories came with this beautiful neckerchief to hide her cloth body, because her shirt, oh no, her shirt comes all the way up. So I guess I just liked it. Maybe I can give it to someone else who needs it more. But she's, I think she works at some kind of veterinarian hospital. She's an animal lover, as a lot of the American Girls of the Year are. And I think she's in Australia, right? That's why she's like, everything's Outback themed. And people have compared her a lot, saying she looks too much like Julie, which I guess, you can take any doll who has the same color combination, say they look alike. But I think there are enough differences that it doesn't bother me. I have Julie and I have Kira. And yeah, they both have shades of blonde hair and the same brown eyes, same Josefina mold. How are her eyes? Are they brown? Are they green? Maybe they're green. I thought we said they're, anyway, it could be the lighting here. I have so much light blaring on my face right now. But the thing also, Julie, I don't know, I think her eyes are green. And she doesn't have those, what do you call them? The really thin eyebrows, that thin arched eyebrows. I know we have a name for them. It's escaping me right now. She has more feathered eyebrows. So I think and I hope it doesn't sound like I'm reaching to make them sound like they're different. I think she actually does look quite different from Julie. And I keep glancing over at her just to be sure. So I was able to get her no problem. I'm in Canada, so we used to buy the dolls at Indigo, which is a bookstore. And when they decided they were going to phase out carrying American Girl, they started putting all the dolls on sale. And I walked into one of my local ones. I used to have, I think, 3 or 4. I don't know how many Indigos I used to have anymore. I still have them. It's just they don't carry American Girl. 3, yes, 3 are very, very close. And they had like a wall of Kira dolls. So when she went on sale, it was so easy to grab one. And then, like 2 weeks later, all gone. So I guess it worked to put them on sale. And like abruptly jumping to the next doll, because I talked about her for a long time too. The next doll is Corinne Tan from 2022. And so a new mold was introduced. And I don't hear people talking about it a lot, that she has bigger eyes than the American Girl doll. So it's like you can't do any eye swaps with her. And to me, it makes her look a bit more like, I can't believe she hasn't been officially used for a Disney princess doll, because she has like a Disney princess face with the big doe eyes. And I think there's only one other doll of hers, right? With just the plain black hair. And I like this one a bit better just because of I like that she has that extra color in her hair. And I actually have quite a bit from her collection too. I have play sets, I have outfits, and I was so, is excited the right word? Thrilled. I was so thrilled when Indigo put this set on sale along with the accessories. She doesn't have them on here for the video because they take up a lot of room with the skis and everything like that, but there's just so much. I love her colors, by the way. I like the teal. I don't know what these tones are called, but the pink with this teal and this it's kind of like an indigo color, right? Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so I love a lot of the colors in her collection. I haven't read her book. I know she has a little sister and a baby sister. Yeah, because I think that there was a bitty baby for them and then a welly wisher, Gwen, but I always want to call her Gwen. And I I don't want to walk down I don't want to get on that Welly Wisher path because sometimes I'm very tempted and I just know what happens when I buy one thing. So I have to try to, my only way of being in control is by just not buying any. And I feel like I didn't say a lot about Corinne, but I've shown her quite a few times because I've had reasons to talk about her. And so I can go on to the next girl of the year, who's my favorite girl of the year, GotY Sharma. I'll just take this off. And so what I've said before many times about her is when I was getting into American Girl, I used GotY's introduction on Good Morning America to sort of butter up my partner, he's from India, he's Indian, and so is she. Oh, that got funny. And so I was like trying to, use her to be like, it's not going to be so bad. There's an Indian doll, like when I have all these American Girl dolls, at least one of them you can, see yourself in. And so it's not just because of that she's my favorite girl of the year. I really like her aesthetic. There aren't enough American Girl dolls with like, I know she doesn't have true black hair because it's got a lot of like browns and maybe like reds in it, but there really aren't. So definitely there aren't enough black haired dolls, even though black is probably the most common hair color on the planet, because you think of how many humans are in Asia, like at least half the planet is there. So, there's so much humans with black hair that it's like, what is their excuse for having so many blonde dolls? But that's not the point of this. The point is I like black hair and brown eyes. That's like my favorite combination. And I just don't get enough of it within the American Girl collection. So with her, and she's another one I have I think I have almost everything of her collection. I think I have all of her outfits, and they're all on other dolls, so they're not for her. And I have her dog. I don't have her trunk, and I think that, and I don't have her that plastic table thing because I thought that was weird. I don't know where I would put that, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the materials they use or anything like that. And because I've talked about her quite extensively, I don't think I have anything fresh to say, anything new. So I'll just put her aside and come to this year's girl. And that is Lila. So I just want to get her hair looking cute. So when she was being, I don't know if leaked is the right word, when people were talking about her, I actually got excited for her right away. And this was always her meet outfit to me because it was like the first thing we saw her in. So that's part of the reason I try to avoid spoilers when new dolls are coming out, because it's like, you don't know what picture is leaking, and then it's going to like form your entire opinion on the doll. And anyway, so she's another doll who I have so much of her collection. I don't have like the big ticket stuff. I don't have the horse, and I don't have like a stable that the horse goes in. She has gymnastic equipment too. So yeah, I don't have any. I guess what I mean by a lot of her collection, I have most of her clothes. I have everything except both of them. They're pajamas, and I have, yeah. So that wasn't the point of why I'm showing all these dolls, but it's just to say I really like they made her a little bit unique. Like you don't see these amber eyes very often. This is like the lighter brown. It's not the decal ones though. So I only know, so now that the American Girl, the limited edition Claudie doll has come out, she's got these amber eyes. And there's like an Addie Truly Me with this color eyes. And I'm sure there are others, because I think it's Truly Me 76 is the Sonali boy mold, the first one, right? I think so. He has this color eyes. And so I think that's why I got excited, because it's an eye color you don't see very often. I love her freckle pattern. I like, just the way everything came together with her aesthetic was very unique, even though she's Josefina. And yes, she does suffer with that eye looking off, that atrophoria, but at least it could pop it back into place, I guess. And I also love that, well, I probably shouldn't, it's probably a bad thing. I love that they came out the same year, because then it makes them feel like, kind of like they go together. And so she's like the best friend of my favorite American Girl of the Year. So it makes her kind of like, I guess, my second favorite. And when I originally planned to do this video, it was going to be a little bit later. I wanted to do it after the next Girl of the Year came out, because I don't plan to get her. So I was, going to say like, these are the 11 girls, and I don't plan to add to them anytime soon, because I'm not going to be getting Summer McKinney. And I wanted to do this. So I wanted to do this video after, she was released, so that I could say a little bit more and explain why I'm not going to get her any of her collection. But I'm not going to say it now, because I don't want to do any like spoilers or leaks or anything on my videos, just because it's not, I don't know. I feel like you open up yourself to a lot of like criticism, not yourself, but you're going to read about people's negative opinions about dolls and things. So I'd rather not have that. I'd rather not have to deal with that. I'll let other people who are okay with that post things like that. So I'll probably just do like, I don't really do a lot of opinion videos on here, but I might just do an opinion video and upload it after she's finally released and explain why I don't want anything from her collection, but also explain how why I think her collection is the way it is, and if there's any interest or whatever, I'll just post it. But that also means, sorry, I don't know if I said why I'm doing this early. It's because I was supposed to be opening my holiday Claudie today, but the delivery got delayed, so now I won't be able to do it. I won't be able to do that video for probably another week. So it's like I have to keep my videos going because I'm getting behind, and it's not because I'm not doing it enough. It's just that so many more things keep coming that it's like, ugh, so that's why I'm behind. And so over the next couple of weeks, I'm probably going to play a little bit of catch up, and we'll probably be posting a little bit more often than normal. And then hopefully that's not too much and that it annoys people. And so I think that's all I'll say in this video about these girls. And if not, I'll just like think about the rest when I talk about summer. And I'll see you soon in the next one.